So there was a lot of fashion on display in that Cowboys v Washington matchup on Sunday. So I
Are you
gotta
talking about
ask
the
y'all.
blockchain carpet?
I didn't see that. I was talking about during the game, and I gotta ask y'all which worse, the the cancer hats that Mike McCarthy was wearing and some other players were, or the Washington football uniforms.
I'm gonna
Dude,
go with the. You gotta have the stencil to write in people's names on the back of the
The
jersey
stencil
plate.
spray paint. Guess you don't want to go outside the numbers or outside the nameplate.
yeah, it was like ridiculous how often, like I have multiple games going on. It's noon, and you look back at the game and you're like, we're playing the Steelers today? Like
That
the
ass.
all black and yellow as your secondary color on that uniform, it was nonsense. That was ridiculous. And there's some people who they see a jersey that's just black and they're like, "Oh, that's art right there." Dude,
Oh,
that was so lazy.
The black
That
jerseys are so clean. Just look at Washington; they're out clean. I'm like, do y'all not see the intricate little details with these atrocious jerseys? From the stencils that we touched on in the front, the gradient on the numbers, and then the most egregious offense, the W in front of the helmet. Either put it on
dude,
the
I
side
mean,
or
like
just
between the
leave just
W in front of the
numbers.
helmet and like the gradient, you touched on it right there, is so childish. That feels like a high school football uniform or like a college one, like the Oregon Ducks from like 2008. That's what it reminds me of. Like, it's so nonsense.
Yeah, there was definitely too much. It was way too busy, and this is the first time I have to go to war against Michael Parsons because that man said they look dope. I kind of like it, and then I got to side with the veteran Anthony Barr. Said they don't do nothing. Huh?
Talking about the Cowboys need a black and navy or a black and blue. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that man been hanging around the pro shop too often.
Jerry hears that though, and he's like, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Micah. Let's sell another one, baby. Let's sell another one."
That would be an atrocious jersey right there. Like, absolutely
Yeah,
disgusting.
those. Okay, so actually, I asked that question because I heard a lot of grief from about the cancer hats. I kind of thought they were kind of nice.
So
I
y'all
know I
are
phrased the
talking
question
about
negatively.
it's the ones that are like pink with like it's like splotchy kind of.
Yeah, it looks
It's
like
like
a bunch of
all-
paint buckets were thrown together on top of the hat, and so you got all these different colors, but they look kind of nice. But yeah,
Yeah,
those
I don't-
Washington uniforms ain't it?
Well,
Yeah, as far as the hat, it kinda reminded
the hat
me-
is ironically less busy.
It looks like a
more
photo of when
focused.
they show you what a universe or a nebula looks like in the sky, like a bunch of space cloud or dust.
But like, okay, but it's not as like there's not a lot going on despite there being stuff going on. So I might have to give the tie to that
Sure.
cap.
Well, the design is a lot more focused and like straightforward about what their message is. Washington football team, man, I don't even know what's going on there. They're just like, all right, today we're black, tomorrow we'll be gradient, and then on another day we'll be burgundy or something like that.
I love the random stripes and stars on the jersey. Just like, hey, just to let them know we're the Commanders, like just in case they're confused. Like, it's so stupid.
But other than that, are we going to entertain at all the foolishness that is there a quarterback controversy?
Don't you dare. So I know it has to be addressed because literally, so I don't like it, but yeah, I think it does because there are so many people that just want to talk about it. And I just want to tell everyone listening to this right now directly, there is no controversy. It will be Dak's job when he is healthy. 100% guaranteed. It has to be said for the sole fact that there's so many fools in the media right now going around trying to tout this QB controversy that doesn't exist.
I saw a stat. I don't know. I would have to like double check the math, but I saw a stat. Someone say that Brett Maher has more points than Cooper Rush, and the way they've been talking about Cooper Rush, you would have swore this man was throwing for 300 yards multiple times and like
Oh my
has like three
god, dude.
touchdown games or anything like
It's
that.
incredible how you can score 12 points and a half, and really until the final drive, it was 6.5. And people, that's who I want to be the quarterback of the future. I love that production. What?
That's
Like,
because that
you
Dak be
realize
costing
under
too much,
Kellen
Rudy.
Moore, dude, like under Kellen Moore, when we were like saying that he's predictable and he's having all these issues and stuff, we were still like rated in the top 5 of offensive. Like you could pick a random offensive stat and we're killing it. And it's all the recency bias, but it blows my mind. And I love when people say, Cooper Rush is 4-0 as a Cowboys QB. That's amazing. Dak started 11-1.
Hey, he did
Four
the
and
same thing to Romo.
and putting up 20 points is not impressive.
Romo should have had his job back. Why can't Dak ain't good enough? Dak ain't good as Romo, so why can't it happen to him? Talking about some old Cooper Rush.
Well, and how
paid
funny
Dak
is it
Prescott
that
$40 million? So I don't get $40 million production. Like, bro, like,
did
are
you
we
hear
gonna
commentary?
really judge one game? Like, he had a bad
Yeah.
first
Well,
game.
did you hear commentary trying to give Cooper Rush as much credit as they could? And like he would kill a play, and they'd be like, "He has control of the offense. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. They trust him." He just killed one play to a run. All he did was look at the men in the box and say, "We should run the ball." Like, and they're trying to give him credit, make him look like a genius. It blows my mind.
Yeah, I think if Dak's there, that game is like in the 40s by the end of the third quarter because that was like still too much of a game, if we can call it that, entering the fourth. And it's just like, just put this team away. But nevertheless, I would like to focus on the O-line and how you guys thought about the run game.
They got their ass whooped. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so there wasn't that much of a penalty situation, and there was I don't think too many negative plays regarding sacks or like just getting behind the chains with penalties. But I think you said it best, Justin. They got their ass whooped with the Alabama quadruple up front. Is that any concern moving on?
No, because I can't. I'm not gonna just kill somebody for one game, and it was also a pretty stout front. So I'm not too overly concerned, especially since they've been pretty good the whole season and up until this game.
Yeah, so like I would say that one-on-one matchups, there was more talent on the defensive line than the offensive line, and they were making plays. But I think our only false start, or we had two, one on
Biotish for
Biotish.
pointing out a blitz, setting the protection, and I'm like, man, y'all can't be serious with that call. But
the main point being, I don't think we had a holding call on our offensive line. And our run blocking could have been better. It was not up to snuff this game. But I definitely think as far as discipline-wise, we're improving. But talent-wise, we weren't going to outman that front four of Washington, I don't think.
Yeah, I'll say this too. I don't think it really affected our offensive game plan. We were still able to get good looks on play action and press downfield. So all in all, we were able to overcome it. What do you guys think about the defense side? I know Diggs was locked down and had himself a hell of a game. He was kind of my MVP for that Washington game, but is there any concern whatsoever about teams running to our right side, offensive teams running to the left?
Man, these teams don't run the ball enough for my liking to stick with it. They don't have the discipline. We need if this was the old school NFL, sure, but ain't no OC want to run the rock consistently. So I'm not too overly concerned.
I'll say
it just takes. Go ahead, Rudy. I'm sorry.
I'll say that anything that is available for an offensive coordinator to take advantage of is something that you need to shore up as soon as you can. And I do think they ran to the outside very well on Sunday. So, I think other teams, at least a good offensive coordinator, especially when the playoffs come around, if we're lucky enough to be in there, they will take advantage of that. And so it's something that I do think you need to address in practice. Or obviously, we're not going to bring someone in. We just got to get better at handling the run. To the outside
the
specifically.
the only team that I can confidently say is going to consistently run the ball in the NFC, the only team that I'm going to say is going to consistently stick with the run is San Francisco, and I don't think they're a playoff team to me. But however,
Well,
go ahead.
I said before we start projecting forward, I kind of bring it up because we did handle Saquon Barkley, I thought, pretty well. I don't know how good the offensive line is for the Giants, but we did keep a running back contained, except for the 30-yard touchdown run he had. But I do bring it up because I think the last time we really got our asses whooped was going up against Sean McVay in the playoffs, where C.J. Anderson went wild. So I kind of have that in the back of my mind. I know that's not the same Rams team we're facing this Sunday, but I feel like we talked about we all three of us brought up a good offensive corner, and I'm wondering if Sean McVay can scheme up something good.
They can't run the
The run
ball
game
either,
against us.
though.
Fair enough, yeah.
That boy Cam Akers is cooked, and then they got that boy Skoranek running fullback too.
Well, C.J. Anderson was cooked too, and then that man went off for about over 100 yards in the playoff game.
That man was more spry in that playoff run than those two current backs. But before we get to the Rams, though, can we at least address the amount of rent free Trayvon Diggs lives in football media and Washington Commanders fans?
Dude, okay. Actually, yeah. I wanted to bring up and this is obviously the broadcast booth. All right. How is it that when we're on Monday Night Football, Trayvon Diggs' first mistake, there's a graphic ready. Boom or bust, Trayvon Diggs. Here's everything he's done wrong in his career. We'll watch him for an hour be fantastic. And at best, you can say, the commentator booth can say, he is really good up. Like, dude, where's my graphic? You had the bust. Where's the boom? Where's my graphic? Brag about me. But it's truly, if you look like Josh Allen, they're going to compliment, not criticize. And if you're Trayvon Diggs, they're going to criticize and not compliment. And it's nonsense. It blows my mind.
I've never, especially with Commanders fans, I've never seen one play represent so much of a reputation than the rookie year after when obviously him and McLaurin got in the scuffle, and then the next play he misses the jam or bites on the double move. And apparently, according to Commanders fans, that's the only play that ever existed between the Cowboys and the football team in Washington when it comes to Trayvon Diggs. But
to be fair, they don't have much to point to. They're going to brag about whatever they can.
Well, ever since then, that man Trayvon been kind of locked down on old Terry and the rest of the Commander. Well, and then obviously they're like, well, last year he got mossed when he damn near had a pick on the same play, but that's neither here nor there. But all I'm going to say is I don't want to hear it as of right now. I don't want to hear any like, how could you say he's a top 10 quarterback? He gives up all these yards, this, that, and the other. It's like I haven't seen anything that says that this year so far, that he's just boom or bust, quote unquote.
Yeah, I think that's what describes him more last year than anything. I think he looks different. Like that man is more focused on just I don't know if I could say this, but less of a flash and more just consistency all around. I don't even think boom or bust describes him well.
What it really is to me is confirmation bias, or you have it in your head that he's a boom or bust player. And so the first example that I can point to boom or bust, I'm going to do it and say
you're
I'm
just
right.
waiting for it.
You're just waiting for it. And
if
you're watching cornerbacks in the NFL, they will eventually get scored on. Someone is going to get open on them. But for some corners, they'll say, hey, you know what? Like, that's a good receiver that they're trying to defend, or the scheme or whatever. But for Trayvon Diggs, no, all the yards are on him. It's his fault. And, like, that's just nonsense. That's bad football analysis.
They even do it to the best corner in the league. They're on Jalen Ramsey's ass just because he missed a tackle, like, when
wait, before you get into that, because I want to bring that up in the next segment, because
criticize, not compliment.
But I do want to also, before we move on to the Rams and the matchup this Sunday, do you guys think our safety play is so much better this year than it was with KZ back there? I feel like Wilson is flying around on run defense, and Hooker is just solid back there on the passing defense.
Yeah, I've loved what I've seen from our safeties so far. And the fact that Donovan Wilson is now getting some recognition across the league should tell you just how well the scheme is working, and he has improved as far as this season has gone. So, yeah, no, I love what the safeties are doing this year.
And the tackling. I don't think I've ever seen a group tackle as well as they've done so far. Now, obviously, with the Rams coming up, you have that hurdle of Cooper Cup. But as we saw on Monday night, the Rams offense is it's a little stinky. Stafford not as
Very
good
stinky,
as
actually.
last year. No, there's no weapons besides Cooper Cup. I mean, that man, like I said, Allen Robinson over the hill gang, and those running backs kind of cooked. So are
The
you
O line looks
guys?
cooked too.
Oh yeah. So do you think it's gonna be like the previous? Actually, all four games that the Cowboys have played, they've had teams that kind of struggle on the O line. Do you see a repeat of that coming this Sunday?
No, I don't. I think when you watch the Rams this year, it's completely different. The Falcons dropped 27 on them, right? Like
Wait. Well,
that's
Rudy, I just before you go continue, I'm saying, do you see the Cowboys defense having a repeat of their previous 4 weeks as
oh,
far as the
Cowboys
pass
defense.
rush?
I thought you were talking about
Yes,
the
yes,
Rams. Okay.
yes.
No, dude, we're a different defense than the last times we've met the Rams. We're legit different in every way. We bring pressure from literally any and everyone. You know, like Dorrance is getting involved. No, I think we're a different defense. Trevon is at a new level right now, and we just talked about the safeties. We're a different defense.
I think this is going to be a good test for us. I don't know if we're going to play like we did or play like how San Fran did on Monday night. I mean, going against Washington, we all heard the stat, like the Eagles got 9 sacks, and I think we only produced 2 or 3.
Well, Washington was.
I mean,
too
we
afraid
got the
to throw
pressure
that
was
ball.
there and everything, and we forced.
Washington.
Yeah, that's true, and it's not the
they-
same. Like it's not.
And when they did drop back, we were in his face the whole time.
I don't know if it'll be as loud, like the performance will be as it was whenever they played the San Fran, or like how Washington played against the Eagles. You had that huge headline stat, like 9 sacks. I don't know if it'll be like that, but I expect a pretty consistent performance of keeping this trend going of less than 20 points scored against this defense when we play them Sunday. All right, fellas, we're in that time again, the segment for award season. And we got some awards to hand out for week 4. And my first award I would like to hand out is the It's a Bear paint bucket, which is the most boring game to watch that you'd rather watch paint dry. And my first game I would like to nominate is the Vikings versus Saints game in London, because it's an 8:30 a.m. kickoff, and you're watching 2 teams that no one really gives a damn about unless you're from there. And then for my second nominee, I would like to nominate Bears versus the Giants. And I don't think I need to say anything else besides that. Now, I will take your votes right now, folks, or I will also listen to other nominations.
I think Bears versus the Giants is the winner, but another game that we should have considered, and another reason why my agenda needs to be pushed. We need dome stadiums, people. Every stadium needs to be a dome, because that Eagles Jaguars game in the rain was just an atrocious. Even Devontae Smith agrees with me. He was cold out of his mind just because of this rain, and it's barely October. It's barely October, and that dude Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he turned the ball over 5 times. 4 of those were fumbles, and 2 of them they just fell out of his hand. So that's my wild card. But my vote goes towards, obviously, Bears Giants, because this isn't 1930. I don't need to see that game on my television.
Yeah, it's Bears and Giants. 20-12 was the final score. The Vikings and the Saints were actually kind of entertaining, I thought. They gave a show to London. And no, the Giants that was miserable. Get out of here.
And on top
Justin,
of that,
I would like
too,
to redact your vote for a terrible point on the domes.
No. And the only
Go ahead. Sorry.
to make matters worse, I think both Giants quarterbacks took a turn for the worst as far as the injury front, and they had to trot Daniel
That's
Jones
true.
back
I
out there.
didn't Daniel Jones. Yeah, Daniel Jones went out. Tyrod Taylor came in, got hurt, and they're like, "Hey, Jones, we need you to get in there and finish this game off."
That's miserable.
And it was like, oh, but yes, that was that. I think that's the game that needs to be voted the worst.
All right, fair enough. The paint bucket goes to Bears v Giants. All right, moving on to the next one, and this goes to, or this award is called the Will Smith Front Hand, which is the biggest surprise that happened in Week 4. And now this might be a little surprising because these were the premier matchups, but I remember poo-pooing both of these games before they happened last week. So my first nomination, I would like to give it to the Patriots versus Packers. I was surprised it went to OT, and like I said, I didn't think it was going to be that much of a matchup, but sure enough, it was pretty good, and we got some nice Bill Belichick angriness on the sideline. And my second nominee is the Chiefs versus Bucks. I thought for sure that game was going to be 10-11, 10-12. I don't know how you get 11, but 10-12 Sunday night, just boring all of us to sleep. But nevertheless, the scoreline was pretty high. Folks, what do you guys think?
Just points were just scored in that game. It wasn't necessarily entertaining either. The old man needs to just go take a page out of Cole Beasley's book and go be a family man. Like,
I feel like there was a correlation going on there. Not that we really need to get into it, but also you saw Tom Brady get lit up for the first time in I don't know how long.
But he also threw Tam U to the Wolves. Get him blown up as well.
So I'm going to go ahead and pick a nominee a little off the beaten path. And that's going to be the Geno Smiths versus the Dan Campbells.
Oh, my.
When you combine for damn near 90, or more than 90, you've entertained me. When you have no Amon-Ra St. Brown and no... Yeah. How surprising is it that a team missing their number one playmaker and their only running back that they do give it to Jamal, and they put up 45. That is that is stunning.
They're the number one
Give me the Dan
offense
Campbells
right now. They better put up that because
they played all those games with Amon and DeAndre. They lost them both this game and replicated their offensive success.
Back, bro, the goof is back.
No, don't say that. Don't say all of that.
The goof.
I'm going with the Patriots Packers just because they had no business being in that game, even if Brian Hoyer didn't get injured. So the fact that it was up for grabs for that long, I think that is surprising in my opinion, especially with ayahuasca cussing out his old line and his receivers again letting him down.
Weezy, I really like your nomination. You almost had me, but I got to go with my gut, and that's the Patriots versus Packers. So the Will Smith front hand goes to the Pats versus the Packers. All right, now finally, we're entering in Texas. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we're entering the critical campaign season for both political parties. And their local election. So,
about like
with that in mind, interesting you say that, Justin, because the Rainbow Fentanyl political attack ad, which goes to the storyline that took the biggest hit this week. My first one I would like to give it to is the Ravens versus Bills matchup, and that is analytics is failed.
And the other nominee is
who was the other nominee?
Because I think I'm already siding with the Ravens game, but I would like to hear the other nominee first.
All right, I feel like I needed context, so that's why I was waiting for y'all to pick it up. But okay, yeah, my second nominee is the Raiders v Broncos. And that campaign is the true man of faith. I know Russell Wilson has gotten a lot of heat for being a man of faith. But the outcome for that game went to the real man of faith. Passion of the car. Derek Carr of Raiders getting the W. That man clearly beat out Russ. Folks, what do y'all
Yeah.
think?
Let me
Go
get
ahead, Rudy.
the man from Sin City, blessed by God. Give me Derek Carr.
No. So I think you have to understand how much agenda pushing was being pushed at 3 o'clock when good old Jim Harbaugh decided to once again not trust his team's defense to make a play. So all I kept hearing for the entire day and for the beginning of last week was, you can't just give Josh Allen the ball back. You just can't. You can't give the ball back to him. I'm scared to let him actually try. I'm scared to have my defense even try and make a play. So the way how that game went was the defense, quite honestly, at the beginning, made all the plays. I think they got 2 turnovers to start the game. The Ravens got out to a 20-3 lead. And, once again, the offense stinking it up at the back half of the game. Not doing anything, just farting around. And this narrative that's been floating around is, man, the Ravens, they just couldn't stop the Bills. They just could not stop the Bills. They only really gave up 10 points in the second half. They're making it seem like all 17 points came in the second half. And those 10 points were all early in the third. So why don't you just take the field goal, let your defense make a play, just give them a chance. They are going to make a play. I promise you they will make a play. They got it in them, but you put them behind the 8 ball to be like, okay, well, I got to stop them. I got to stop them before they get to the 50. Got to stop them with enough time, get good field position just to give Justin Tucker a maybe shot because we might get the ball back. Just let him. You already got the lead. Let them try and win that game.
Did you see the reaction? Did you see the reaction of the defense when they were trying to let the Bills score and the one guy didn't get the memo?
Yeah, and you know how to pull stuff like that? Yes, they were pissed. Because the dude just said, I got to get another tackle to the stat line.
They were pissed, but also I feel like the narrative analytic crew was hiding, or I didn't hear much about them defending. Maybe you saw it more than I did. But I feel like they were more going to town on Lamar Jackson for throwing a pick and everything about that instead of talking about the situation and not having the awareness to kick a field goal and play a defense in your home stadium. I was pretty
surprised by that.
What is it gonna hurt? The defense? What is it gonna hurt to let the defense make a play? They've been making plays all game. Well, long.
So that's the reason I actually didn't pick that one as my narrative broken, because they won't stop. Sunday's going to roll around and they're going to be back on don't let Josh Allen have the ball late, and analytics are the way to go. So I couldn't pick that. It's not. So Weezy, they're going to keep going at it.
If I can, Weezy, are you saying the political machine of analytics is just too great? They have too much funds to be stopped on this week.
Can't stop them.
They're big oil.
One game is not going to break them. They literally think that they're writing the gospel every week. It's nonsense.
You're like, you just can't give the ball back to Josh Allen. You can't expect to stop him. Didn't the Bills stop him?
Clearly you can't. Dolphins proved that last week.
Dolphins just do that? That's what I'm talking about, bro. Like,
no. The Dolphins didn't do it. The Heat did. Oh, I get it.
Oh, that's the worst. I hate that. The Heat. He's missing wide open players.
Degrees Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit did it to him.
The Dolphins did it like twice, didn't they? They did it twice.
Yeah, they did.
Stopped them at the goal line, and then they pooched the punt to give them an added 2 points, and then they stopped them again. So let's not act like this man just Justin, automatic.
If you want to understand how powerful this narrative of Josh Allen is, he ripped a man's face mask, ripped his helmet off like a child, missed game-winning throws, and was complimented at the end of the game. Did nothing right at the end, and they love him.
Weezy, you missed it because that man was acting like he was being treated like Cam Newton in the Baltimore game. That dude was like, bitching over every call, begging the rest of the flag.
Lineman,
God, he's a baby. Josh Allen is a child.
Accidentally falls on him, and he immediately just. I'm just like, bro, come on. You can't be begging for that call. And then on the last drive, he gets bailed out with a roughing the passer when it's 2nd and 15.
How many people in the Josh Allen camp, they see LeBron complain about something? LeBron, shut up. And then Josh Allen complains like, he's gotta claim that.
They gotta protect him.
him.
Yeah.
Not that LeBron has made more money for the NBA than Josh Allen's made for the NFL 50 times over, a million times over.
Well, Rudy, he's my early MVP vote. He's going to be the MVP.
Yeah.
Because I don't vote for anything but
guy who misses wide open passes is going to be the MVP. But those writers, they'll vote for him.
Because the Buffalo Bills, they're
I need to sit down with these dudes.
They're the most unbeatable team right now. You're the most unbeatable team.
Well, that's a part of it, though. I actually do think that Josh Allen being solid in Buffalo is bigger than him being good in, I don't know, San Francisco. Because, it's so unlikely that the Bills are good that they attribute all Bills' success to the quarterback. Rather than McDermott being good, rather than getting a good defense together, they give it all to the quarterback.
That's the entire NFL, unfortunately. So
that narrative will never die.
Ian, who's the winner of this?
The winner is, and let me just end it with this new tagline I just came up with. The Vatican is in Vegas. Passion of the car takes the W.
The Vatican is in Vegas. All right, now it's time for the weekly pick'ems. But before we get into it, Ian, why don't you update us on the leaderboards?
All right, boys. Looks like we have a curse coming up with whoever's on top does the worst. So, bringing up the rear, Justin, you should not be surprised after that lead-in.
Hold on. I'm all the way at last.
No, you just did the worst last week.
Last week.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Surprisingly, this is a really competitive week, and this is also our best week. But Justin, you finished at 9-7, and that means that the next person is Weezy with 10-6.
Okay.
Going an impressive 10-6. And guess who is on top? Your boy finished 13-3 last week.
Whoa.
So we had 3 blanks and 5 sweeps last week as well. And so now it is actually tied at the top. Yeah, it's tied at the top with me and Justin with 32 wins, and Rudy, you are tied you're at third with 30. You're not far behind. It's really competitive at the top.
Let's go. All
right,
back to you.
Play Jason Garrett ball.
Well, as a man,
9-7.
As a man whose suffix at the end of his name is the third, I'm used to being in third. But boys, it's changing this week, and it starts on Thursday night with the Colts taking on the Broncos in Denver. Who do y'all got?
What a horrible game. Unfortunately, give me the Broncos.
Yeah, that's easy. Give me the Broncos.
Give me the former Chrisley man, Russell Wilson there. Next, we've got the Giants.
He's still a Chrisley man. He's just not Christ's man.
Well, Christ isn't fond of him anymore, so he can try. Moving on, we've got the Giants taking on the Packers in Green Bay. Boys, who's going to win?
And this is a London game?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It starts at 8:30, and I know Germany's next week, so it's got to be London.
Give me the Packers. The Giants don't have a quarterback practice. I mean, Daniel Jones is practicing, but still.
Yeah, go Pack, go.
Yeah, Packers for me too. Moving on, we've got the Lions traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. Who you got?
Another case of no quarterback. Give me the goof.
All right. Well, they have the number one offense, so that means Bill Belichick's about to turn them into the number 32 offense this week. Give me old patriotic Bill.
All right. Give me the team that dropped 45 without their two best players on offense. The Lions. Moving on, we've got the Chargers traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Who's going to win?
You know what? I'm going to go with the Browns, I suppose. Mix it up a little.
Are the Browns? This might be a stupid question. Are they on the East Coast?
They're like
Midwest?
Midwest,
Mid-East?
yeah.
There's no like Mid-East, but they're
I think
Midwest.
time zone,
I think they're
LA
Central Time Zone.
Central?
I
probably.
think I
All
think
right.
I
In that
think
case-
they're I think they're hold on, let's see. Cleveland Time Zone. Oh,
This man
they're
said
they're
if it's a
they're
different
actually,
time.
they're actually in the Eastern Time Zone.
Oh,
That swayed Ian.
fuck. All right. Shit. Yeah, give me the Browns.
Is this a noon game?
Justin, this is a noon game.
Oh yeah, I already picked the Browns, but I'm even more convinced now too.
Okay. Y'all are wrong. Chargers are going to win this one, so just letting you know.
Thanks,
Moving
guys.
on, we've got the fighting Davis Mills taking on the fighting Trevor Lawrence's. Who's going to win? In Jacksonville.
Give me the
noon.
Jaguars.
Ian, Jacksonville is in the Eastern Time Zone.
Thanks, guy. Give me the Jags.
All right. Yeah, we all have the Jags there. Yuck. Moving on, we've got Atlanta traveling to Tampa to take on the Bucks. Who you got?
Tampa Bay.
At what time zone? No, just kidding.
That's going to
give
be
me
in
Tampa.
the Eastern Time Zone. You said Tampa?
Yeah.
Tampa for me as well. I don't like this. I don't like following suit. Moving on, still a nooner. Pittsburgh taking on Buffalo. Ian, guess the time zone.
East Coast
In
guy.
Bro, what is with this noon template? Nasty. Give me Buffalo.
We say this every week.
Well, this is even
Buffalo?
egregious. It's more so the 3 o'clock window that's egregious. The noon is.
I think
solid.
the only week, the 1 week that has like solid matchups, and it doesn't even count because starters aren't playing, is the last week of the season when it's all conference week. Or all division.
The noon slots have been solid the past 2 weeks. This is just unusually bad. But go ahead, go to the next. Unless did you pick?
Bills.
Yeah, I had Bills as well. All right, moving on. We have the Dolphins taking on the Jets. Still at noon. It's in the Meadowlands.
What's Tua Tag No Swag's situation? Is it
I
Teddy
don't
Two
think he's
Glove?
playing.
Yeah, it's definitely Teddy Two Gloves. Are you kidding me? They would they would
That
get
would be
killed.
hilarious, though.
They trotted him back out there.
That's a
Like,
PR
not
nightmare.
but it's like goodness gracious. That would be terrible.
It's honestly like for his health, not funny. For like the circumstance to put him out again, hilarious.
Oh
like,
my
what is that
goodness,
thought
bro.
process?
That would be
Okay, who you got?
If it was Joe Flacco, I would have taken the Jets, but it's Zach
Thank
Wilson,
you.
so I'm taking the Fins. Flacco, I'm sorry. I'm gonna call that man by his real name.
Ian?
Shit. Give me the Jets.
Okay. Justin, I'm glad you brought up Joe Flacco because, yeah, they actually weren't looking too bad with Joe Flacco. But with Zach Wilson in, this is definitely going to be a Dolphins victory. Give me the Dolphins. Moving on, we've got another divisional matchup, just a different division and conference. We've got the Bears traveling to Minnesota in an indoor stadium which Justin loves.
Bro, what?
Who you got?
Give me the Vikings.
Give me Kirk the Turk and the Vikings.
All right, I'm done following y'all. Give me the Bears. Get it done, baby.
That's the worst situation to not follow us on.
It's how it lined up.
No, you
Yeah,
already
leave it
know
on.
they're gonna
Choose better
pull a
odds.
rabbit. Kirk gonna go full Kirk, and that's slow.
It's at
secondary.
noon. That's when he
slow
thrives.
secondary. That
It's at
slow
noon.
secondary is gonna like allow these Bears. The Bears are gonna decide to throw the ball all of a sudden, and that slow secondary led by the old man Pat B is just gonna be.
Hey, we got it,
torched
Fields.
somehow.
I know you're watching this. Moving on. We've got the Titans taking on the Commanders. Who you got?
Give me Titans.
Titans. Ian's reaction is my reaction to
Yeah.
having to watch that game. That's a snooze.
Lisa, you better
Titans as well.
stop following us, Lisa. Damn.
Actually, let's go Commanders. Titans are kind of nonsense. They've had one
How would you describe the Commanders?
at home. Hopefully, less nonsense. Moving on.
We've
Wait, is
seen
that
that
really
We
your
got. Yeah. Give me the Commanders.
Okay.
Yeah. I talked myself into it.
Attaboy.
All right, moving on. We've got the Geno Smiths taking on the Saints. Who you got in New Orleans? Who you got?
Gino. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, give me the Seattle Seahawks.
Is this a 3:00
Give
game?
me the.
Nah,
This is the last nooner.
Oh,
Although they all start at the same time, so there's not a
I don't
last.
know.
Really.
I don't know if I like that, but I'm gonna ride with the Seahawks nonetheless.
All right. Give me the Saints.
There you go.
Give me the Saints. Moving on. We've got the 49ers taking on Carolina in Carolina. Who you got?
Why
Disgusting.
would they make this a 3
Give me the
o'clock game?
Niners.
give me San Fran. I guess it's in San Francisco, so never mind. No, wait, is it in Carolina?
It's in Carolina.
Why on earth is this at 3:00?
You tell me.
If there was a time for this West Coast traveling to the East Coast agenda to shine through, it would be this game. This would be the true litmus test because the faker, man, is he atrocious.
You believe in him?
Nonetheless, no. Give me 49ers.
A bunch of preamble just to skirt back to the Niners.
I need
Give me the
Panthers. I need our betting audience to stay engaged. Just throw out some chum in the water.
Because you're so far ahead. Give me Carolina.
He will be after this week, the way you're betting, Weezy.
Oh boy, I'm taking the lead. All right, moving on. We've got the Eagles traveling to Arizona. Who you got?
As much as it pains me, Philly.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm no fool. Give me the Eagles. Moving on. We've got the Cowboys traveling to LA to take on the Rams. Who you got?
Give me the Rams just because I think the Cinderella show of Cooper Rush, he's got a couple picks coming from him this game. That's my only reason why.
Nevertheless, Matthew Stafford also has a couple picks coming our way, so it might cancel out. And I will take your LA Rams.
Boy, y'all are idiots. Cowboys. This picking's easy. Moving
That'd be the
on.
one game that you
Sunday
end up
night
winning.
football. Dude, I'm a beast. Sunday night football. We've got the Bengals traveling to Baltimore. Who you got?
Lamar, of course. Because apparently all of a
Thanos.
sudden the Bengals are back again just because they beat the
Got a little,
Dolphins.
got a little CTE
Well,
on that victory.
the one thing working against Lamar, his defense.
You mean his entire coaching team?
The coach.
No, I can't
I'm
go
sorry.
against y'all on this one. Give me Baltimore. Watch this be the one I should have gone against y'all.
Give me Baltimore.
Yeah, all of a
All
sudden
right.
the Bengals and the 49ers are true title contenders once again. I don't know how that happened.
After one win.
Yeah, especially
Finally.
Go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Especially after all the 49ers did was beat the team that they dominated for like the past 5 years. So like I don't know
And the
why
team that's
we're
looked
surprised.
super horrible this year too. All right. Finally, Monday Night Football. We've got the Derek Guys traveling to Kansas City.
Vatican
Who
and
you
the
got,
Vegas.
fellas?
Give me Kansas City, but I do hope the Las Vegas does make this entertaining.
It pains me not to yell this team's name this week. So with a heavy heart, I will take El Chiefs.
Dame los Chiefs.
Anything else?
That means give me the Chiefs.
Hey!